This has been a very unusual time for all of us, and Winship is still diagnosing and treating cancer patients, providing the best care possible. We want to thank all of you for your support for Fashion a Cure. We have raised, I'm happy to say, $100,000 to benefit the Glenn Family Breast Center. We would especially like to thank our top donors, Nancy and Charles Harrison, Missy Craver, and Yancey Brothers. We would also like to share a very special thanks to Louise Billion and the Billion Family Foundation. You'll see all of our donors listed here on the screen. Today's program, you'll hear a moving patient testimony and an update from the director of the Glenn Family Breast Center. We also have several door prizes to announce, so don't leave, stay tuned. Tracy Nicole is more than a designer. She's an author, an activist, an entrepreneur, a survivor. Born and raised in Atlanta by a single mother, she's no longer a stranger to hard work and sacrifice. Tracy attended Florida A&M University, where she received a Bachelor of Science degree in occupational therapy.
I can't hear it.
After a painful divorce, she too became a single mother of two and mastered the art of juggling many, many hats. Firmly believing that one can always find the silver lining in any situation. Unexpected breast cancer diagnosis, she took her survival journey and used it as an inspiration to all. Known for her timeless and versatile pieces, you've seen them on the screen. She has designed clothing for some notable women and collaborated with multiple major brands, and her designs have been featured in several TV and film productions. Tracy Nicole launched a new line in Belk department stores in the spring of 2017, and in 2020, this collection into the Four Seasons Spa Retail Atlanta. Her evolution as a designer has proven to add to her success, providing simple yet beautifully designed garments for women of all shapes and sizes. Tracy is currently channeling her passion for fashion design for women's mental and physical health as an inspiration to launch her program, the Tracy Nicole Foundation, established with the mission to empower, educate, and enrich the lives of young women and men. Now I'd like to welcome Tracy to share her story. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for that introduction. So I am just a girl from Decatur who had big dreams. I always knew I wanted to be a fashion designer, and I learned very quickly when my parents told me becoming a fashion designer was not a career. So I believed that, and I followed the path that they told me I should take. And I studied to become an occupational therapist, and I was good at it. I enjoyed helping people, but something was missing, and it was that passion that I had to become a designer. So one day I decided I'm going to go to fashion school. So I was practicing therapy by day. I was director of rehabilitations, overseeing 3 facilities, enrolled in fashion school at night. And I felt like I was pursuing my dream. So I will tell you, studying fashion was great, but when it became times for me to launch my own clothing line, I was scared. And I allowed fear to hold me back for 5 years. Yes, 5 years. I allowed fear to just keep me from jumping out there. Until one day I just decided I had to choose between faith and fear, because you can't have both. So I decided to step out on faith and launch my own clothing line. And then the unexpected happened. I was diagnosed with breast cancer. Completely unexpected. It was the most traumatic thing I think I've ever experienced. I don't think anyone can describe what it feels like to be told you have cancer. For me, my first thought was, I want to be here for my young girls. I was young, my girls were young, in my 30s, and completely unexpected. And it really slowed me down. It made me live in the moment and think about things that I took for granted. So I appreciated things a bit more. I remember my baby girl coming to me saying, "Mommy, you can't pick me up. Why can't you pick me up?" And I'd had surgery, so I couldn't pick her up anymore. And if anyone's a mom on here, you know the joy of being able to pick your babies up until they're bigger than you. So I said, you know what? We can love on each other another way. And we hugged instead of me picking her up. So today, hugs just mean so much more to me. Um, Following my dream was always in my mind. And when that happened, it was discouraging. No one told me you wouldn't be able to put clothes over your head, just things that you take for granted on a daily. And I'm sure you all can relate to, when you dress a certain way, it makes you feel good. And I believe that if you look good, you feel good. And if you feel good, it promotes health. So for me, going through my recovery, going to the doctor was my only outing. And I wanted to look cute when I went to the doctor, but it was really hard to find things to wear. So this is where the fashion designer collided with the occupational therapist. And I found myself adapting my clothing to find things to wear. So that led to Dr. Jackie from Married to Medicine reaching out to me to adapt clothing for her breast cancer patients. And here I'm learning that sometimes things, they happen for you and not to you. And so some good things are really coming out of this journey. That led to a big fashion show for charity for breast cancer. And all of the models were survivors. And I designed all the clothing for the models in this fashion show. And mind you, I'm still going through recovery, but this is allowing me to feel like I'm pursuing my dream. So the fashion show happens. And for me as a designer, it made me more thoughtful about the types of fabric I was choosing and the types of designs I was doing. I wanted soft fabrics. I wanted to make designs that fit all body types. Because as women, we go through a lot of transitions, whether it's gaining weight, losing weight, having a baby, having surgery. Every woman experiences some type of transition, and you want clothing to complement that. So I will say this journey, it not only made me a better designer, but it gave me courage. So I didn't give up. The end of the year of my recovery, I decided, okay, it's finally time to go for it. And so I launched my first collection. I launched it online at a time where shopping online wasn't extremely popular. I was just hopeful. So we did this big marketing thing where we were launching at midnight and everyone tuned in. We sold out the next day. So that was really inspiring and it encouraged me to keep going. And so I did. I kept going. I didn't look back. And I used that journey as inspiration and as courage to keep moving. And 2 years later, I was launching in 13 department store locations. And 2 years after that, I was being featured at Paris Fashion Week. So I just want to thank you all for allowing me to share my story. I hope that it would inspire someone. And I do want to thank you for supporting campaigns like this, because without them, I don't think I would be here. I definitely want to thank you for helping to fashion a cure. So someone just asked where you can find me. You can definitely find me online at tracynicoleclothing.com and also simplebytracy.com. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Tracy, so much for sharing your story with us.
We're so grateful. We'll be sure to share Tracy's website with everyone who is attending today. Let's see, we now have our first door prize. I think we're going to get back to our screen here. And our first door prize is a lovely gift basket from Lucy's Market. And our winner is, give me just a moment and we'll find out who that is. Yvonne Daniely, you are the winner of the Lucy's Market gift basket. Congratulations. I'll be in touch with you, Yvonne, to make those arrangements. All right. You're so welcome. All right, now we'd like to acknowledge our 2021 host committee and all of our past Fashion a Cure fashion show chairs. You'll see them listed right here. And we would be remiss if we didn't acknowledge our dear friend, Del Reardon, who co-chaired in 2018, who recently passed. Now I'd like to welcome Dr. Kevin Kalinsky, Director of the Glenn Family Breast Center at Winship, to share an update with you. And just as a reminder, if everyone could mute during the program, we will get to questions after Dr. Kalinsky shares his remarks. Dr. Kalinsky?
I want to thank the hosts of the 2021 Friends of Winship Fashion a Cure campaign for including me in this year's event. And for those of you who have not had the chance to personally, it is nice to virtually be able to do so. And I sincerely hope that next year that we have an opportunity that we can see each other in person. So as a bit of background, I arrived at Emory in November of 2020, and I've had the privilege to direct the Glenn Family Breast Center. And I just want to take a moment and express my appreciation to Lou Glenn and her family for their support to the center. For those of whom I've not met, I grew up in Charleston and I went to Emory for undergrad many, many moons ago. And my twin brothers also went to Emory for undergrad. So you can see that we are essentially Eagles for life, and Emory has always been a special and unique place for our family. I think that what has been remarkable is how much Atlanta has changed since we have come back. And in that context, I've thought a lot about how Emory has changed in terms of caring for our patients with breast cancer as well. You know, being the only National Cancer Institute comprehensive cancer center in the state of Georgia, it is critical that we offer not only outstanding and personalized care for our patients, but that we also focus on moving the field forward for our patients. And what really drew us back to Atlanta was the opportunity to make a real difference in our community. I think that one of the biggest advances that will be coming to Winship in the next year will be when we will be in our shared space at Clifton on the first floor of our Women's Health Center. And I think that this is going to be a huge and exciting step forward for us. The goal is for patients with breast cancer to be seen by all specialties, whether it's radiology, medical oncology, surgery, radiation oncology, for us to be seeing patients all in the same space. And in this space, we will also have access to essential services such as rehabilitation, spiritual health, nutrition, etc. Also, we hope to practice the Winship way. And what this means is really focusing on directing the care to the patient. And we are even moving forward with collecting blood on patients when they need blood within the rooms when we are seeing them. We are also hoping to establish a true multidisciplinary clinic where new patients are being seen by the various doctors on the same day, where we can individualize and personalize the treatment plan for a newly diagnosed patient on the first day that we are meeting them. And I think that this will offer a kind of care that will be unique and special to patients being treated at Winship. And I think that this is going to be something that will really discriminate us from other centers treating patients within the region, and in particular in the state of Georgia. As part of our commitment to the community, it is also important that we are moving the field forward and not only treating our patients with breast cancer, but preventing breast cancer as well. In the research that I do, as well as my clinical colleagues do, is evaluating new targeted medications and immunotherapy. So for instance, at Emory, we have new studies with antibody drug conjugates. And the way that we use a GPS signal to help us determine, well, where should we be going with our car? These antibody drug conjugates have GPS signals that are directly delivering treatment to a cancer cell. And we are evaluating these sorts of drugs, not only in patients with stage 4 breast cancer, but also patients with early stage disease. We are also evaluating new studies with new blood tests, with a particular focus on whether these new tests can help identify which patients are at risk for recurrence. And at Emory, I'm pleased to say that we are opening one of the first studies globally that will be evaluating these blood tests and also seeing whether or not we should change a patient's treatment based upon these blood tests and whether this can help decrease the likelihood of developing a recurrence. In addition to bringing new research from the lab to the bedside, back to the lab, we are also fully committed to improving healthcare delivery to our patients with breast cancer. We serve a racially and ethnically diverse patient population, and our goal should be to have the same outcomes independent of a patient's zip code or the color of their skin. Since moving here, we have a family member who is currently undergoing treatment at Winship, and I have been able to see firsthand the level of excellence of care that's being offered directly to our patients. And it is this level of care that should be available to every single person who walks through our doors. So you can see we have big and exciting plans within the Glenn Family Breast Center. Our goal is to have not only a regional footprint, but an international one as well. And I sincerely am grateful for your support and your commitment to Winship and the community. And I look forward to meeting you in person, and everybody stay safe. Thank you.
I know we're all so excited about all the advances you and your team are making in the Glenn Family Breast Center. Yes, if you haven't already done so and you would like to make a gift to help support the Glenn Family Breast Center, we invite you to access the giving link in the chat, and we thank you so much for your support. Okay, everyone, it's time for our next door prize. We have this beautiful painting from artist and our friend Blair Mann. And the winner is, give us just a moment. Waiting for our winner is Vicky French. Congratulations, Vicky. So excited for you. I'll be in touch with you soon to make those arrangements for your painting. Stay tuned, everyone, because we have one final door prize towards the end of our program. Now it's time for our virtual fashion show in acknowledgement of all of our past boutique partners. We are so grateful for all of these businesses for supporting Winship and this event for so many years. Let's roll with the show. We hope you enjoyed that video. We hope it was a fun element for all of you. One very special element of our annual fashion show is the giving tree that you'll see here. It was implemented in 2017 as a way to honor and memorialize your loved ones. I'd like to invite you now to take a moment for those special to us listed here. One very important thing, we'd like to recognize this list for their special contributions to today's event. Okay, now we have our final door prize for today. It's a $250 gift certificate to Tassels Jewelry. And the winner is, oh, it's Brenda Neese. Congratulations, Brenda. I'll be in touch with you to get that gift certificate to you. Friends, on behalf of the host committee, thank you all so much for being here today. If you'd like to learn more about the advances being made in the Glenn Family Breast Center, please join us for our Learn and Live program on April 26th. It'll be led by Dr. Klinsky, and joining him will be Dr. Jane Mizell. The registration link will be in the chat for you. We are so grateful again for your support of Winship during such an eventful time. We know this year is not how we had envisioned hosting our beloved fashion show. And I know many of you are gathered with friends in homes across Atlanta, and some of you are waiting to join in our breakout rooms here on Zoom. Even though we're not able to all gather together this year in person, I do hope you'll take the opportunity to socialize with those that you usually see at these events every year. We hope to see you live and in person for the 2022 Friends of Winship Fashion-A-Cure Fashion Show. Thank you again, and this concludes our formal program.